Welcome everybody, my name is Michael, and today we're discussing about how the situation is in further decline in Russia. Cogent Communications, one of the world's largest telecommunications and internet backbone providers, is announced that Russia will be cut off from them. Now, Ukraine has also wrote to ICANN, one of the world's internet organizations for basically all the websites out there and data and whatnot. They have lobbied, or they're basically pleading with ICANN to remove access to Russian websites. And Ukraine is also pleading with any internet providers that are currently providing services to Russia to cut them off. Now, this is also going into the fact that Russia itself wants to cut off from the entire world. They want to basically have their own internet service. And this isn't anything new. Medvedev has announced as of last year that Russia has already been ready to basically cut itself off from global internet providers. They have their own system in place, and there are certain countries where this has taken place, such as North Korea and China, where there's essentially a great firewall. A lot of websites won't work, a lot of entertainment platforms. In China, you have your own social media applications. So the same situation is going to happen in Russia. So in addition with everything that's going on for a lot of Russian citizens right now, you've had a ton of corporations that have left Russia. You've also had a ton of entertainment companies that have ceased their services. One of them most recently is TikTok. And with what's going to happen and what's already been happening, where internet service providers are cutting Russia off, you have decreased internet connectivity. However, if Russia's plans to go off of the global internet by no later than March 11th, which is literally in just a couple of days, all servers and domains supposedly must be transferred to the Russian zone. So one quick thing that a lot of people are commenting about, if you're playing video games, say goodbye to those Russian comrades. You're not going to see them on the servers anymore. But it's not just that. I mean, basically anybody who has their careers on YouTube or any other social media platform, they now will have to do the Chinese method, basically use their own applications. So for Russia, I think that would be the website VK and whatever else they come up with. But of course, these are just going to be alternatives that aren't going to be able to replace the real deal. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people whose careers will basically go down, and they're going to be pretty frustrated with the whole situation. Although, again, we don't know exactly how that's going to work, because for such a large country, sure, China would be the only other example, but China's internet works a whole lot different, and their government is probably the furthest away from democratic and being free, and they monitor almost everything they can. It has been like that from the very beginning. They created their own applications, they created their own internet, and their society actually functions pretty well up to a certain standard, of course, where you're able to go into any shop and you don't need actual physical currency. In a way, it's all digitalized, and that's pretty cool. There's a lot of convenience factors to it. However, there's also the whole aspect of privacy. So their system is completely different, where Russia's system, supposedly rumored, is ill-prepared. Now, again, we don't know everything. If this has been being in the works for over a year, maybe it's going to be a lot better than a lot of people are suspecting. Oh, give it a couple days. I mean, obviously, if you're supposed to remake the internet in a couple days, there's going to be a lot of issues, glitches, failures, and there's going to be a lot of alternatives, which will suck. Some people are worried about a global malware coming out, or that, Russian spies and hackers will still be able to use access to the normal internet while everybody else will be blocked off from it. Maybe the government, just like with North Korea or China or other countries that do this, there's going to be two internets, one for people who have power, one for people who don't. Again, these are all just rumors, but if this actually does happen in a couple days, you're going to see millions of people who suddenly aren't able to connect with the outside world, and they've got family members. They want to use Facebook, they want to use YouTube, they want to use just normal day-to-day stuff. That, I mean, it's pretty hard to imagine if the internet got shut down right now and your only access was domestic applications, where if you're living in the US, okay, sure, a lot of the applications that we use are basically based over here and hosted over here. However, they would change completely. Everything, all the rules would have to change. A lot of the corporations that are being hosted, it's just crazy to imagine this. Now, there are rumors that this has been in the works for over a decade now. So, again, maybe this goes really well. Probably not. Just knowing how the logistics situation is going on right now. There's other news that two large energy Russian companies, Gazprom and Rosneft, are unable to make their debt obligations. So Rosneft failed already to make its $2 billion bond payment, a repayment where if you fail just once with bond payments, your credit rating goes down on the global scale. And as a multi-billion-dollar corporation, I'm sure they have plenty of assets. But in the future, if they run out and they need more money, they're not going to get any more bonds. They're not going to get any more loans. And Gazprom is going to run out in the next couple of hours, and they will have to repay $1.3 billion. So we're not sure what's going to happen in a couple days from now, but if they do disconnect completely from the world, what happens to crypto? What happens to all their finances? What happens to pretty much everything they had abroad? Do they just say goodbye to it all? And lastly, there's going to be food rationing. There's going to be implemented limits on individual purchases of essential goods to prevent shortages caused by hoarding. Right, so thanks so much for watching today's video. It's going to be really weird if suddenly 140 million Russians are disconnected from the global internet, but we'll see. Thanks for watching.